From the court to the classroom, from the block to the boardroom, this is the Michael Graham Show, where real talk meets real life. Join Michael Graham as he breaks down the big issues: youth development, community programs, housing, jobs, and the challenges that shape us all. Loud, funny, real. The voices of experience from athletes, educators, advocates, and everyday warriors are all right here. This is where community comes to talk. This is the Michael Graham Show.
Hello, folks. Good afternoon. Well, good evening. My name is Michael Graham. Today is March 31st, and tomorrow's a new month, new day for everybody. I got some good guests tonight. You know, they are the pillars of our city. They're trying to help keep our youth in check. First of all, I want to bring on my host, Mr. Bobby Kinzer. He's the author of The Other Side of the Hoop, the European Experience. That's the book there. He can bring it on for you. Bobby, where are you, baby?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I'm here.
How you doing,
I'm
man?
everywhere.
Well, where's your book, man? For some reason, this thing won't come on, man. I got this. Show the people your book. That's what I'm trying to advertise. The Other Side of the Hoop, the European Experience by Bobby Kinzer. How you doing, man? How was your week, man?
A lot of people question me, Mike, about that little Scottish girl in the bottom picture, but that's a long story. Anyway, so I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. MGM Graham, how you doing, Mike? Let me tell you something.
I'm doing.
This is a great day, you know, because we do a lot of shows, right? We do a lot of shows. Right. We got all kinds of people, A to double A, known people. But today, this is special, man. We got guys,
very special.
Gentlemen, they're not just in, sports, which is a great thing, but they're also involved with the community and the wholeness of the sport. So I'd like to introduce our first actually wonderful gentleman joining us today, and that will be Coach J, Coach Jerome Tyler. How you doing, Coach? How's everything?
How you doing?
Fantastic.
Hey, Coach, how you doing, man?
Rising
Thanks for being on, man.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thanks
Rising
for
Star
having me.
in 2026 U.S. Sports University graduate. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Thank you very much. And you also fresh off of a team dominating 19-2. That's a hell of a schedule nowadays for the Ron Brown prep school, correct?
Yep. Preparatory college school. Yep. High school. Yep.
Preparatory college and good stuff, man. And so we're glad to have you, sir. And I got to tell you something. I used to take pride in my beard and goatee, but you got a serious beard there, Coach J. God dang.
I appreciate it, man.
You look like something off of GQ, man.
I appreciate it, man. I remember when I ain't have no beard in high school. Then when you were young,
you remember those times too, huh?
Yeah, I just want to know. Yeah.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce our wonderful another coach, Coach Drew Crawford. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How you about yourself? Hi, everybody.
Hey, Coach.
Man, so glad to have you. Dedicated his service. And look, Coach, am I reading this correct? You had an undefeated season.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's not easy to do, my man.
I know, right?
Yeah, and that's with Idea PCS. No.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Idea PCS,
yeah. Yeah, Idea PCS in DC, Washington, DC. And man, this is a blessing to have you on, man. And this
Appreciate
is a state championship, am I correct?
Yes, 2024, yep.
Whoa.
And a conference championship the same year. Went back to back that year.
Oh man, that's serious, man. Because I'm telling you,
very serious.
The one thing that shuts people up is winning.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Winning isn't everything.
Right.
It's better than losing.
Exactly.
You know? and they used to say, the old basketball saying is, defeat is worse than death. because you
Oh,
have to live with defeat.
Yeah,
But
I heard that. I heard that a lot.
winning is good.
Jackson.
Winning
I
is
heard that a
good,
lot.
sir, and we appreciate you being on. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the wonderful Mr. Ebbon A. Allen. How you doing, Ebbon?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm pronouncing it right.
That's my man.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm pronouncing it right, Ebbon.
Yes, sir.
Like Ebony. And he comes with the
drop that Y. Yes, sir.
Drop that Y.
Yes, sir.
Drop the Y.
Drop the Y. And he comes with the intersection of sports and literacy through the Black Kings That Read program.
Yes.
This gentleman, his title is the College Prep Advisor for the Success Foundation in Washington, D.C., ages 7 to 12. And you also at the Third Good Marshall Academy, the wonderful
one of my schools.
first Black Chief Justice. And for some of you all, this is a shame plug, he was an Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity man, by the way, just for the record.
Oh, yeah?
Understood.
Yeah, so, and don't want to forget about Ron Brown Academy.
Oh, let me tell you
Great
something.
Ron Brown, who was the
My
first.
godfather.
What?
Yes.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me that.
Was standing with the UDC.
Yeah.
Him and another guy. I don't know if he's still around. Man, they really took care of me, man. Ron Brown is, man, that was my angel, man. Yes, sir. Yes,
wow,
sir.
that's major to have a mentor, man, a godfather like that. I mean, that
Yes,
actually
sir.
people don't know he was on his way to possibly becoming the first president because he put Bill Clinton in office, by the way. He was the Secretary of Commerce, and that's major. A lot of us, we don't know about because they got rid of government in the schools, so we don't really find out a lot about stuff like that. But it's all good. But I just want to start off with, hey, Coach Jay, you mind if I start off with you, Coach Tyler?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit about, Ron Brown Prep and what you do?
Ron Brown Prep, yeah, that's a good question because a lot of people didn't know. Ron Brown always been around. First, it was Roper Junior High School back in the 70s and 80s, and then in the near future they changed to Ron Brown Middle. It was a middle school.
Oh, so that's Roper.
Yeah, Ron Brown is the old Roper Junior High School.
Get out of here! I know that.
Yeah,
a lot of ball players come out of there.
Yeah, the structure's still the same. And they just redid the inside, but the outside is still the same. But the Ron Brown High School, it became a high school in 2016. So we like 10 years in now. One of the first all boys public high school in Washington, D.C. period.
Whoa.
Good preparatory college high school for young men. We call them Young Kings.
It is.
Trying to get them through a pipeline of like Morehouse College. We got a couple of kids that went to Georgetown, Ohio State. So we do a little bit of everything for the Young Kings. We got great programs in there. One of the agricultural programs where we got goats, ducks, any type of animal that one of our teachers, agriculture teachers, help show you how to raise those animals, show you how to clean them, show you how to take care of them, get food for them, different things like that. Everything that's done far as our websites and different things is done by our technology class that Mr. Jackson teach. So if you see Ron Brown website, has been done by our students at Ron Brown High School. So that's what we try to do. We call them Young Kings, and I've been there. This is my third year there. First, I started off as I came in as a coach, assistant coach for the junior varsity and a varsity boys team, and then I began to work there as a behavior tech, and then later on, my second and third year, I became a substitute teacher there. So that's a little bit about Ron Brown. Another thing that I would like to add is a lot of folks they think because it's an all boys school that it's a lot of things that be said about it, but we have a sister school called Girls Global that we partner with an all-girls school that's on Uptown, like 7th Street. And so we partner with them, do a lot of things with them far as like field trips, plays, dances, prom. We do our prom together with them. So it's not just an all-boys school that doesn't get with the other half of the female.
Right,
So
right. Good.
I just wanted to straighten that out, because a lot of times people today they get scared and say, we don't want to come to that school because it's all boys and different things like that.
To be honest, Coach Jay, I think it's pretty good, because having girls in the classroom is a distraction. Okay.
Oh, we know that. We all know that.
No, yeah. I don't know how it was, but I know when I was in school. Remember, I went to Wilson. And remember, Wilson was getting all the uptown girls.
Yeah, for sure.
From the Gold Coast, and they were fatter than a government paycheck for the taxes. But anyway, I didn't mean to go there.
But Coach Jay,
yes, sir.
Let me ask this, Coach Jay. You're fresh off your graduation and the dominant 19-2 season with the prep team. What's the biggest common sense lesson that you've learned about reaching today's youth that isn't taught in the university textbooks?
Being relatable, not thinking you know too much, not thinking that you can learn from the youth today, and they can learn from you, and having an open ear to what they trying to say, versus just thinking you know everything and thinking that you know it all. Because if you come in an approach like that, because I've been in the school system for a long time, and when you come in and act like you know more than them, they gonna turn a blind ear. They not listening to that.
Right, because the thing that I notice is they always talk about respect. That's what they want. Sure. Respect.
For sure. Yeah. RESCPCT. Everybody want it.
Yeah.
Everybody want it. So I come in and listen. I come in as a listener and chime in when I can, knowing when to say something, knowing not when to say something.
Right.
Like
right.
And what we call read the room. Read the room. So if it's not, it might not be a right time to say something to that student right then and there. You might gotta pull him to the side when he by himself, and then be like, "Hey man, I heard you. Can I say something to you real quick?" And then that's how you build that relationship. Is a relationship building business.
Mm-hmm. So something just popped up, man, and I just got lost for a minute. I did, because I don't know what's going on with my team. Now they got the other point guard in the portal.
Who we talking about?
The little light-skinned guard.
From Georgetown?
Yeah, he's in the portal now. Both guys are in the portal.
Man, you about to take it somewhere else, but you about to take it a whole no way.
What?
Welcome to the portal.
Somebody had to offer. Somebody offered them some more money. You know what that's about.
Yeah. Coach Crawford.
Yes, sir.
You recently announced you're moving on from Idea PCS after 10 years because you know your value.
Right.
What advice do you have for other DC coaches who feel they aren't getting the respect or resources their program deserve?
Follow your heart. Don't go with, if you feel like your energy is worth more, man, go with your heart. Don't get complacent. For the most part, it was time to walk away. You just got that energy when the staff, that had nothing to do with the kids. They love the kids dearly. It's just all staff and the head administration. They just wanted to go another direction. Hey, man, more power to them. No love lost. It's just time to move on.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Evan, how do you because you talk about talking about through Black Kings that read, and you uniting literacy and sports, and that's pretty unique. So why do you think it's vital for like DC legends like Michael to use their platform with literacy as and sports to approach the people and to serve, underserved neighborhoods?
Good question, Bobby. Just like Jerome and Coach Jay and Coach Crawford talked about, you have to be relatable, but I think literacy is important when you talk about education. I believe that education will eradicate poverty. And I believe that the earlier that you're reading and you're showing and you're identifying some of our scholars' deficiencies that make a difference. But also, there's less than like 5% of African-American men in the classroom as far as educators. So you have to pretty much think about changing that trajectory. I know at one time, Coach Drew and I, we were both at IDEA around the same time. I was a teacher at IDEA for at least 1 year while Coach Crawford was coaching the male basketball team. And so being in the classroom, it just seems like it can make a world of a difference of impacting, young men and young ladies through literacy. But I think athletics becomes the engine because, without athletics, a lot of times you can't really navigate and mobilize our scholars to give them incentives outside of the classroom. You want to provide a well-rounded individual when it comes to academics and athletics, and you're creating the scholar athlete. But I think that we need more Black men and African-American men, not just at administration level as principals and counselors and deans, but also as educators in the classroom, because it makes a difference. I went to Fletcher Johnson Educational Center, and one of the men that actually impacted me was my ninth grade teacher. His name was Mr. Gable Balmer. And I know how much he impacted me and probably helped me with the pathway of one day eventually getting back into the classroom. So shout out to Mr. Balmer at my Fletcher Johnson Educational Center. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Allen. Okay, as someone who has run for the office and worked on the front lines in Ward 7, what is one immediate policy change that you would provide everyone a shot at success in our undeserved neighborhoods?
Well, one, you would want to think about employment. We have to have a huge increase in employment opportunities and provide resources because, when families aren't able to thrive and success through employment, nothing else you can't really move anything and actually provide for these families. And, I think for Ward 7, I believe the median income is only $40,000. In the city, it's like $90,000. So when you're looking at those numbers, it's drastic that we need to change and be able to increase that gap between, the incomes of family households east of the river and actually west of the river. So, that's very important is providing employment for our families. So that has to definitely change. And that also, making sure that our young people, especially our youth, have, programs and employment opportunities year round. Right. You shouldn't just have to wait to the summertime for our youth to actually have to be able to find a job. But our youth are eager and motivated enough to work, yearly and throughout the entire year. So those policies are critical when it comes to how you change the trajectory of our families and our communities thriving is employment. And along with, education, that also makes the impact as far as our communities.
Okay. Hey, I noticed it seems like when I was coming up, right, and I know this has a lot to do with playgrounds versus AAUs, but I was playing with my friends' fathers. They were still playing at, in their late 20s and 30s. Even some of them in their 40s were still good athletes. So you got to play with these guys, and they would exchange knowledge with you afterwards, sitting on the bench and stuff. And it seems like there's a gap there now that connection of the older guys to the younger guys is not there. Why do you? First of all, do you think there is a disconnect? And if so, why do you think that is? That's open to anybody.
Yeah, I can answer that. Well, I can tell you how I feel about that. First and foremost, you right about what you're saying, but most of it came from no one plays on the playground no more.
Right.
No one goes outside and just go on a court and just actually shoot on their own, do everything on their own. I remember when I was younger, I would go down Watts and watch like
Watts,
you said,
the famous Watts.
Yeah. And play with the older guys. Sometimes you couldn't get on the court. Sometimes you had to wait. Sometimes you had to go on the far end of the basket, work on your game. And it was a process before you could get to play with the fathers that you're talking about. So you had to work your way up. The problem is these kids, they want everything handed to them. You got trainers and different things like that. But no one wants to go work on their own and shoot on their own. Learn how to dribble on their own and get rejected by the older guys and let them tell you, hey, you ain't ready to come on this court right here yet. Everybody thinks that they are ready right away, and that's not the process to get into play with the older guys so you could learn from them, or you could catch them before, after those games, one-on-one, to kind of get the knowledge from them guys. So a lot of it is just a microwave society. Everybody want it real quick, fast, in a hurry, and don't nobody want to put the work in like we used to back in the day.
Right.
Hey, Coach, we lost Coach Tues. Go ahead, Ebbon.
Yes, a lot of what Coach Jay was talking about is that investment is different. There's so much accessibility with trainings, with this traveling with the AAU and high schools. You back in the day, college scouts would actually come to high schools and actually recruit scholars and also build relationships and rapport with the high school coaches. It seems like AAU has taken precedent over that as far as relationships when it comes to recruitment. But I think we've lost that that village when it comes to like from the administration at some of the schools, when it comes to the counselors, the deans, the educators. I've been a couple of Ron Brown games, and also I've been to some idea games, and the games they're not packed anymore. I mean, Michael Graham went to the infamous Spin Gone High School, and that Spin Gone, back in the day, I mean, it was standing room only. Those days have changed, and so you definitely want to try to find some resolution and find some ways, to put the glue together, so people can really support, our kids, because a lot of our young people, their parents are not at the games. They don't have family members at the games, and pretty much the coaches are also wearing many different hats. We're trying to make sure their teams are successful. So I definitely tip my hat off to Coach Crawford and Coach Jay, coaching now in DC sports, DC high schools, because there's so many different like obstacles and trials and tribulations that those gentlemen have to go through on a daily basis.
Hey, Coach Tues, you on mute?
Yeah, I'm on now. I just had my phone on mute.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to join in on that conversation. So,
my fault. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. After you. I'm sorry.
Just to piggyback what Mr. Allen said, man, it's tough what we dealing with, because we dealing with lack of parent participation, and we on the same time trying to get these kids seen and away from the city. So it's lack of support as well from the administration. So it's an uphill battle for schools on the 7 side of the area.
So when I was coming
it breaks my heart, man.
Yeah, it does. When I was coming up, the biggest issue as a young man that I had to deal with was peer pressure. And we had gangs back there, but the biggest issue, I mean, there were several issues being in the city, right? Being a young man growing up, but mine was peer pressure was the biggest. What do you think now is the biggest issue for young black men?
Yeah, like you said, social media for one. That's the main thing. These phones, social media is like, because now the kids, when they beef and especially if they in rap, they talking about it. They talking about what they're doing, and it's like and it's not real unless you got a story to tell behind it. So it's a lot, man. It's a different era now, different breed of kids, and it's not about the OGs can't talk to them. They don't even want to hear nothing about what the older guys got to say.
Right.
Yeah. So how can we reach them? How? I mean, what? I mean, I know we ain't gonna reach all of them, but even if we just reach one, I mean, what methods are out there that you use? That can keep them off the street, keep them from making that bad decision. Just out of trouble. Period, man.
Well, I work at Deanwood Rec Center, and these kids just gotta take advantage of opportunities, man. It's resources out here, but they gotta want it. Like they say, a lot of kids say that the Marion Burry, the jobs are still available. Like the kids just gotta apply. The jobs are out here, Now, if it's what the kid want, that's something different. And then it's like it takes a village with the kid, with the parents, and sometimes the parents is just as off as the kids. So that's what we dealing with, uphill battle. When you do try to discipline and get these kids together, the parents not really, they want it, but they don't hold nobody accountable for their action.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah, sometimes like the chime in on that too. It's like the kids are telling the parents what to do. Like when I go out to like recruitment and different things like that, is well, this kid don't want to do it, and so that's a problem within what we got going on too. Because the kid is telling the parent, hey, I don't want to go there, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. And back in the day, we had no choice. Like you either was gonna do this way, or you wasn't gonna do it at all.
Right.
And it was a consequence behind everything, and so it is very difficult, especially when you got, and then like we wanted it more. Like I remember Bobby was saying, like, what is it? Like we wanted it. You gotta want it. Nobody on this panel can want it for the kid. So if you come across that kid that don't want it, it's not going to happen no way, because that kid, you got to do something to put some effort into what you want out of life at some point. Like we can help you along the way, but at some point you're going to have to want and take some initiative on your own to get whatever you're trying to get out of life done. At some point that got to happen. We can't want it for you.
Right.
So, Michael, Bobby, I feel like as a college prep advisor with my organization, College Success Foundation, DC, some of my young men definitely want to play sports. They have aspirations and dreams of becoming, athletes and going to college to play basketball. But then a lot of times I'm very realistic with them about what happens when the basketball stop bouncing, right? Or what if you're not able to ever pass the ball anymore? What is plan A through plan Z, right? So I have a young man at Anacostia, and he eventually found out that basketball wasn't going to be his pathway to success. And so we've taken some time, some one-on-one sessions, and we found out and identified with some of his career pathways, some of his career options. And I think, even as coaches, Coach Jay and Coach Crawford, they have heart-to-heart conversation and dialogue with these young men, because everybody, the portal has messed up so much when it comes to high school basketball and college basketball. So, we really have to be realistic with our young men. And when Coach Jay and Coach Crawford talks about giving those young men exposure, some of those young men have never stepped foot off within Washington, D.C.'s parameters, right? And so at least those young men will have the opportunity to know, I have a backup plan. I can go to college. I can have a different career. And so my young man that's at Anacostia, he had his final game last month, and now he's aspired to become a U.S. Marshal. But that's what it takes, right? It's navigating with these young men, and then just having more black men, not just within our schools, but then within our communities, our recreational centers. Not enough programs at our DPR rec centers. Not enough accessibility and programming. And I think we loved going to the Department of Parks and Rec when we were young, right? You had the Boys and Girls Club, all these Boys and Girls Club that were prevalent back in the day, So those times have changed, right? And so I remember, and Coach Jay went to Roper, I went to Fletcher Johnson, but we had coaches like Coach Brown that made sure he gave us life lessons, about the streets is a dead end, but these are some other options where you don't have to become a statistic. And I think if we continue to have brothers like Coach Crawford and Coach Jay being realistic with our young men and giving them the exposure opportunities, because these coaches also have a relationship with college coaches, right?
Right.
So a lot of times when, Coach Jay and Coach Crawford will tell you, some of the parents are like, well, how many kids can you actually get them into a college? Well, these coaches, they have relationships with some of these college coaches that can give these young men the opportunity to navigate outside the District of Columbia. So I believe also, if the DCIAA, Mike, if we can get it like how it was in the high again, and we could be a powerhouse and we can get the city title, but just play the best WCAC schools and the best schools in the country, so we can have some Malik Max, at Ron Brown, or we can have some Thomas Sorber at Idea Public Charter School. That's what it's going to take.
Hey, Evan Allen, getting it back to where it was, I think, I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me if it's me. That's a lost cause. I think that bus has left the terminal. It's a catch-22, you all. It's the chicken or the egg, right? Because I hear a lot of older gentlemen, my age, really getting down hard on the young guys, especially when their pants were hanging and stuff. At least they're pulling their pants up now. But a lot of older guys get on them hard. And I'm finding out, because I teach financial education, a lot of times the parents, like you said before, these parents sometimes are the issues. But the problem is the parents never was parented. So they only know what they know, right? I'm not giving them an out, but it's so many issues, y'all. It's never one issue anyway to solve this problem. But one of them, to me, and y'all let me know if this is right, one of the main issues is, one, we got to have a conversation with these guys. You got to have a conversation. Because I know a lot of older guys, they say, man, I'm afraid that guy, head looking all wild, eyes looking wild, I'm afraid to talk to him. So they're not talking. But I believe it starts with a conversation. And then the other thing is, you said it before, is being able to provide options for them. Like the option no more is not the NBA. That used to be that was for us as a Black community to get out. It was sports. Now it's to me, it's like the tech industry and things like that. To get them, because they're all into that, and we need to shift our priorities. But tell me what y'all think about that. What do you think some of the options of getting them to? Because like I said, the old DCIAA, I wish we can go back. That usually things repeat themselves, but I don't think that's happening no time soon. But how do we get them on course is the question, I guess.
I got what I would say. My grandmother used to say, "It ain't what you do, it's how you do it." You know what I mean? So each has their own style and how they did things. Like back in the day, you wore the afros and different things, and then in our and it was always a recycled bin. So it's just carrying yourself with respect. So knowing when to do what you do. You can wear your clothes how you want to wear them, but knowing that Mr. Johnson was right there, knowing when to take your head off when you going in the house, knowing when to do something, knowing how to act in front of that teacher, knowing how to act in front of the old lady or whatever. So it's not what you do, it's just how you do it. And so I think like with the DCIAA, we can't get back to maybe how it was back in the day, but they also need to do some things with catching up on some of their rules and how they go about different things, because the WCAC and the private schools and different things, they can go in different directions and recruit all over the city. The DCIAA and charter league, you only can grab within your city. Right. You know what I mean? And so when you competing with these schools and going against some all over, it's not necessarily fair to be playing these teams like that. So to answer your question, how to get back to that, is about applying yourself with what's going on, what's new. Like years ago, we wasn't on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So now we learned the internet, and now we learn how to apply. That's why we got this show now. And we didn't have the internet, we wouldn't have this show not on the internet. We might have to do it on the radio. So it's just about how you apply yourself and how you adjust to what's new. Because if you don't do that, it's like, you gotta adjust. And then some things might come back around. And then you can teach that if it does. But if it doesn't, you just apply yourself with what's going on now. And again, learning and listening. Like, because you said the guy, he afraid to talk to some of the kids of how they look. I never met a kid, a gangster, or anybody. If you go and say, hey man, what's your favorite team, man? Who you like?
Yeah.
Or a simple hello. That'll take you a long way to even opening the gap to even speaking. And I do that all the time, even with people I don't know. Like they could have been trying to rob me, and now it's like, hey man, I like that cap you got on. And the next thing you know is a whole different situation.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. I hit them with their little term, right? Well, holding the door for me. I got it, boss. I'm like, okay, what the hell become this boss? So I hit him back with the old school. I said, "Thank Captain." They look at me, some old school.
Yeah.
Relating.
Yeah.
Relating.
Yeah,
Meet them where they are, but you don't have to lower yourself. But
right.
you do have to meet them where they are. Because I know some guys try to lower their standards to reach those guys. And I don't think that's the way either.
Nah,
but you do have to be able to reach them where they are. I truly believe that. Hey, Coach Drew Crawford.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something, man. We're talking about, the young people and all that. But let me tell you, black men, us,
right,
have been on an assault and currently under assault. How are you dealing with being a black man in America today?
It's tough. It's always been tough. Been the underdog, just been slighted.
Yeah.
Is you not you being able to just saying what you can't do. That's been all my life, man. So, man, just going through the punches, fighting through adversity always.
Wow. How about you, Ebbon? How you dealing?
Yeah, man. So
your audio has gone a little bit wacky there. No, we can't. You might have to do the infamous get out and come back in.
Okay. Who's that?
Oh, wait a minute. You might be back. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Am I coming in clear now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. Great question.
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Yeah, I'm actually going through therapy right now, gentlemen. There's been a stigma about counseling and therapy, right? And so I'm trying to change the trajectory on black men seeking therapy, right? Because there's layers of things that we're dealing with. We're fighting, internal battles on a daily basis, right? And in order to be able to help and be able to strengthen our young men and our young ladies is that we get that help in therapy to be able to speak to some of the things that we're dealing with internally. And so I'm also a spiritual man. I pray every day, right? And so I'm trying to have a mindset of changing the trajectory of showing my sons that, as a young black man, you have options that you still can make it, but it's also at the end of the day all about our decisions and our choices, right? And so I think another way that we can help each other is checking in on each other, right?
Yes.
Sometimes we get so busy, we get busy with life and the obligations and responsibilities, but I think when brothers are finding time to check in on one another, sometimes that makes a difference because all of us, like Coach Crawford said, we're dealing with like mountains of trials and tribulations that we're trying to face. All of us are trying to make sure we make it home every day, right? That we make it home to our families, and to our wives, and and to our loved ones. So but for me, a praying man, but also that therapy I'm talking about is things when I talk to my therapist about, it's like takes me all the way back to childhood, right? And so a lot of us every day we're dealing with trauma. I got one too. Yeah, we're dealing with trauma, right? So to be able to talk about that trauma, I lost my dad when he was 35, and then I lost a brother to gun violence when he was 26 years young. So it's just those type of things that we definitely need to find ways and find that professional help and seek that can make a difference.
Wow.
Okay. All right, coaches, I got a question from her Mathis. He had asked a question. Did private schools back in the 70s and 80s have the ability to recruit anywhere? I don't remember that. I mean, even though I was going to Spingarn, but I lived over in Arthur Capers in Southwest. And I was going to Spingarn. So, I think it was a lot of guys. Because I know Spingarn had.
It was.
Spingarn had 3 Maryland guys when I was playing. Yeah,
because my uncle was Randolph Apple Milam. God rest his soul.
Randolph.
That's my uncle. That's my grandmother's.
Beast.
So I remember before he passed, we had talks about the private schools because he went to Bertie Bacchus middle school. But then he talked about how DeMatha recruited James Brown, and him and James Brown grew up in the same community. And so he talked about how DeMatha also wanted him to come, but he said, I don't want to go to DeMatha. I want to go to McKinley Tech. So I believe even during that time frame, Mr. Graham, they were definitely recruiting in that era. And his magnificent, I think they called it Magnificent Seven. They end up beating DeMatha and James Brown one year. So
sure did.
They beat him one and lost him one, right? And the one they lost, they lost. James Brown didn't play, by the way. Hey, Evan, to your point, right? The private schools could recruit all over, but the public schools didn't. But how the public schools, Wilson, we had guys from, remember, we uptown Northwest, we had guys from Southwest, Southeast, Northeast, and people were playing the address game. If they had an aunt in the Northwest, and that's how they were doing with the public schools. They were, using fake addresses, but they clamped that down. But yeah, they did, and that's a good question, Herb, because that's how it was. And by the way, Apple Milam was coached by my high school coach, and James Brown was, and Wilbur Thomas, and Kermit Washington all came out of Bacchus.
Kermit Washington with the Bacchus?
Yes, but guess this. He didn't play. People don't know this. Kermit didn't play high school ball till around his senior year. You know what he was his sophomore year? A drum major.
We got to get him on here. We're going to have to get him on here. A drum major.
Running past me. Kermit, he didn't even play at Bacchus. My coach was the coach, Don Fugel, who was a white guy, by the way. And let me tell y'all something. I got to get this off because I'm in therapy with this one. We at Wilson was the only team back in the 70s that had all black team with a white coach. There was no more white players. There was no white coach. So when we played at Ballou and Spingarn, man, them mugs would terrorize us, man. Those just jumped on us up at Roosevelt.
Y'all coming in with the white shadow.
Yeah, with the white shadow. But Evan, I gotta say this real quick before it get past me. There's a lot of mental illness happening, right? And what people don't know, there's a difference between mental illness and mental issues. Everybody has mental issues, but mental illness is when you need to get professional help with somebody with letters behind their name. But everybody has mental issues, and we got to learn. But if you don't know how to cope with them, it still comes out the same, right? We, like you're saying, it's a lot of people dealing with mental issues and mental illness, and I'm hoping we get more help. Like you said, that's awesome that you get help, man.
Okay, all right, cool. Hey, Coach Crawford.
Yes, sir.
Reflecting on that legacy, undefeated championship run in 23-24, what was the secret sauce that kept those kids focused in a city where there's so many distractions outside of the gym?
Let me start out by saying I had 3 transfers in from Malcolm Battle when he transferred to go to Curl. He left Bard. He sent Shamar Shorts. I had 3 guys: Shamar Shorts, Sean Baltimore, and Jaden Bradley, which definitely was a tremendous piece to the puzzle. But then I already had my guys, so it was already a rival because we just played them in the Final Four last year. So it was, we were, my idea guys was trying to get accustomed to the Bar kids, so we had to get them playing together. It was tough. We went through a lot of trials, a lot of trials. They fought. One of my kids' brother got shot, so I had to deal with that, and I lost my son in the midst of all that.
Wow.
And one of the kids that came in lost his nephew. So we just put all that together, man, and it was like a brotherhood. It was really a real Cinderella story. The truth, I mean, like I said, we just all had stuff on our heart, and we all played as one. Everybody.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah,
and everyone was accustomed to they stuck to the script, man. Everybody was on the same page. So when it's like that, it's kind of, it's kind of tough to be the team that just been through so much already. Like, couldn't nothing stop us.
Okay. Coach Jay.
Yes, sir.
As a young coach in the DCIAA, how do you balance teaching that old school physical toughness with the modern skill heavy game? How do you blend that in?
It's tough because you especially with the boys side, because those young men come in thinking that they know everything. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta get that out the way first. You gotta kind of teach them that they way ain't working. So
Mm-hmm.
once you break that down, then you start implementing your things in that can work, and then you take a little bit of what they was doing and say, well, look, if you mix this up with that, this is what you get. To kind of draw that fine line between, because every I don't care what boy you coach, he thinks he's the one. Everybody think they the one, So then you got to break all that down and get them to understand that, yeah, you might be the one, but you can't get this done without the other four.
There you go.
You can't get this done without the other four. So that's my secret ingredient. It ain't really no secret. It's just every coach know that you gotta kind of like what Coach Crawford said, like all those different personalities that he was dealing with, all these things that's going on. You gotta take that and throw it in the trash, and then blend your own blend in, and then now you start the roll. So that's how that go.
Okay. Huh.
And that's one of the oldest things. It's generational in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to call it, the old school guys used to call it, holding on to the ghost of Naismith. Most guys I knew thought they were better than they really were.
Yeah, me too.
Every one of them I know. And I'm seeing these guys in the over 60 league over there. Bennett started. And I remember them back in the 70s.
Man, they talking about come on and play. Man, I'm not playing. Man, you can forget
they were on the bench
that.
pulling pine, but now they start like they were like stars. I'm like, man, you gotta get them splinters out your behind.
But I gotta get them boys proper though. I go over there too. Shout out to the Simeon League, man. I'm impressed. I can't wait till because they respect the game.
Yes.
And I always looked up to the older guys, man. I feel like that's why I've been blessed with the game so much.
Yeah.
But I just can't wait till I get up there because like I said, them games be more packed and they support them rather than just these leagues, the regular man's league. So I really appreciate what they doing over there, man. Shout out to Poncho and all them guys over there, man.
And Coach, too, don't get me wrong, I wasn't disparaging.
Oh, I know.
One or two players that swear they were like. I'm like, my try told me he was all Met. I said, man, I know the all Met team in 1975. Joe Tweet, Turk Coleman. You wasn't on that goddamn team.
It was in his mind. His mind, I was all Met. It was like, then I would have made it.
Oh man, I'll be laughing sometimes.
Yeah,
I love man. They be wanting to fight and everything.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But the good thing, like you said, dude, I see some of those guys that. I actually played against them, but still, man, and I'm getting to be 69. I'm like, whoa, man. So, and it's just good to see those guys. There's nothing like it, man. And may he rest in peace.
Yeah, it
is. Ed Swells.
See, I'm glad somebody's doing it.
So,
rest in peace.
And Jesse Harrison. He was Jesse too, right? If y'all know Jesse, he was over there. So, and we died off, y'all. All the soldiers died off. Hey, Ebbon, right quick, can I ask you one question, man? The legacy of Morehouse University. You went to Morehouse, am I correct?
Correct.
What year did you go to Morehouse?
I was there from 1996. I took like 2 years off, and then I ended up finishing in 2004.
It's still at Morehouse?
Yes, sir. I took a little sabbatical, a break. And then I end up going back and I'm getting my degree. I'm in 2004. Yes, sir.
So, and I used to always wonder this because I went down there and didn't realize how could a black man,
yes, sir,
graduate from a school in Atlanta?
My cousin just did it last year.
That had Spelman on one side,
Clark Atlanta
on the other,
Morris Brown,
and some of the finest mugs in the goddamn whole United States of America. And you graduated. That's probably why you didn't graduate on time, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But Morehouse, man, that experience.
Yes, sir, Bob.
Hey, look. I call this show, man, the heartbeat of the DC community.
Yes, sir.
If you had to design a blueprint for the perfect community center in the district today,
Ooh.
What are the 3 non-negotiable it must have to truly save our youth? What are the 3 non-negotiable
that's heavy
that they must have to save our youth?
Can you repeat the question, Mike?
He can't even repeat it. Now go repeat the question, Mike.
Okay. If you 3 had to design a blueprint for the perfect community center in DC, what are the 3 non-negotiable that it gotta have to be truly for it to save our youth? What is non-negotiable that it gotta have?
Oh,
That's
easy.
non-negotiable. It gotta have.
Easy for a basketball court, a studio, and some pretty women. Period. Non-negotiable. Cause all the guys gonna go with the females are. Everybody want to see a good game, right? And the women gotta be there. The women gotta be there, and then to add the secret sauce, some good food.
I'm gonna go. I like that. I'm gonna go with, because right now, man, Deanwood has all that what you just said. I would say employment for the youth. I mean, just automatic employment, because the kids. What Mr. Evan Allen said, I kind of disagree when you say about DPR, because I can't be a little biased because I work here, but they have programs for these kids that they don't take advantage of. Like I'm living witness to see these kids. Like I'm at Deanwood Rec Center now, right? We got a studio in there. We got a pool in there, a full size Olympic size pool, a gym in there. Everything you just said asked for is already in this place. Wow. Now, granted, you got different dynamics of the area. You're not some kids, Northeast kids, beefing with the different side of uptown. So it's some kids it won't go around there because of just the area wise. So that's what the part we got to worry about, and what's the part we dealing with. But we got a late night hike that they set up for these kids daily in the summer, which the whole agency get together, and they got all these different activities for the kids to come out. But again, you got so many of these kids, man, just lost because they beefing with who, or they can't come on that side of town because of what they said, what their brother did. It's just it's a lot going on, man. It's a war outside.
I think to add on to that though, Coach Crawford, is too, like, and you right about what you saying. I feel like when we was in school though, like all the schools had the recs within the school. So the Deanwood rec that you got going on, it was in Roper at that point. So I remember that. So you had Evans at the time. They had their own rec.
Right.
Every school had their own rec, which kept the violence down, where these kids wouldn't have to come to that side of town to even enjoy a recreational center. So when you have 14 the Boys and Girls Club on Benton Road,
right, that
community enjoyed that rec. You didn't have to go outside your community to enjoy recreational things. The problem is that now I gotta come out my community to enjoy recreation centers. Also, to add on what you're saying, not that, and this is just me, I've been at Ron Brown for 3 years. Not one time have a person from the rec has been over to Ron Brown to say, hey, look, some of y'all kids need to come over here and take advantage of these type of opportunities. Wow. So we have this, we have that, everything you name. Not one person from that recreation center has come over to our building and say, hey, look, we got this going on. Y'all should come over here and do this. And I'm not saying maybe individually wise, maybe like you might know a couple of players. Hey man, we doing this, we doing that. Because I'm gonna give kudos to you. You throw your rec, you throw your rec leagues at Deanwood that we know about each and every year. Kudos to you. But I'm talking about as a whole, as a staff. It's not one staff member that been into my facility to reach out to them young kings. So what they go do? They go out, they go into their neighborhoods, and they get into some nonsense because guess what? We don't reach out to nobody. We don't reach out and say,
Yeah, I agree because I don't know about the recruiting part of it, the aspect of that. I agree with you, but a lot of your kids, I know a lot of them, man. They frequent Deanwood as soon as they get out of school. So, and I can't speak for what everybody else doing, what as far as the agency wise. But I know I interact with plenty of your Ron Brown kids. I can't, but I haven't been in Ron Brown since I had in the just part dealing with as far as playing with, teaming up, playing against each other. But I agree, it's definitely need to be more partnership with these schools. I agree. But I don't know how the roving leaders, I can't speak on that part because like I said, I'm not on that side. But I agree with you though, too. I agree with you. But all your kids definitely at least 30-45% of them kids come to Deanwood Rec after school.
Whoa.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What do you think about this RFK Stadium where they're supposed to have this big recreation center where everybody in the city could use it? Kids from Ward 8 supposed, I guess, bus over to there. And I mean, how's that going to work for everybody, man?
I don't think it was created for black.
I don't either.
I think they just doing it for everybody else.
Yeah, and it's all about the money.
Yeah, so Mike, with the politic aspect of that, Ward 7 is broken into two fractions, right? You have the Capitol Hill side of Ward 7, and then you have the East End Ward 7, where Coach Crawford, Coach Tyler, and Coach Jay and myself, we actually where we reside. I actually live in Marshall Heights, right? There's nobody that's been talking about Benning Road and East Capitol Corridor, right? So even with Fletcher Johnson, that's my old educational junior high school.
Right.
Mayor Bowser is now going to turn that into a 24/7 emergency health center, right? But the community, that's not what they actually advocated for, right? They advocated for mixed use housing and amenities, right?
Money.
And so as you see, that there a lot of people that don't look like us are at those RFK meetings, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the individuals that's engaged. Right.
Yep.
We need that same energy on the east end of Ward 7. We need people to actually come out and be able to communicate and talk and speak out, about how their particular communities have been ignored. A lot of folks in Marshall Heights and in Deanwood and in Lincoln Heights and Clay Terrace, they feel invisible, right? And so a lot of times I'm learning when a lot of our young people, they feel invisible, they feel ignored. They feel like they're not enough individuals that are relatable. They're not enough men and actually public servants or public leaders that's actually listening to them. If you're looking at the election, I haven't seen that one youth town hall yet. I've seen town halls about economic development. I've seen town halls about education. I've seen town halls maybe about public safety, but no town halls about what the youth want. Youth need. You're talking about extension of a curfew. Well, let's talk about what do the youth want? Let's have a youth forum about what they actually want, and actually come to Ward 7 and talk to those Ward 7 youth. And go to Ward 8 and talk to those, because you got to remember, Ward 7 and Ward 8 is the last frontier of African Americans, right? So you really got to look at the dynamics of how DC is shaping. It's no longer the chocolate city, right? So you got to put that in perspective of why is this stadium coming, right? What's the underlying issue? Project and visual of what's going to take place when this new RFK comes. So I'm thinking about my neighbors. We had a shooting of law enforcement just last week. That happened a block away from me, right? So when people are actually dealing with gun violence and trauma, where do they actually go? Some of them have to go to Prince George's County. Some of them have to go as far as the Washington Hospital Center. Some of them maybe have to go to Howard University. There's nothing, especially even the Cedar Hill facility in Ward 8. There's so many complaints about.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Healthcare and health services, and so many people are living and dying and trying to survive. So yeah, that's an excellent question about RFK. But a lot of times, our people, our residents, our constituents, and our neighbors are being invisible and ignored. And to answer your question too, guys, sorry to piggyback a little bit.
That's
backtrack. I'm listening to Coach Crawford and Coach Tyler about DPR recreational centers. I actually advocated for the Woody Ward Rec Center, right? Mike, you probably followed that. So I had to testify to Phil Mendelson, Councilman McDuffie, Councilman Vincent Gray at the time. And it was only actually two people that testified. That was Miss Jackie Miner and myself. And so That was actually for the Designation Act. If you guys know Woody Ward, God rest his soul, he was a pillar of the community. He was a father figure. He was a coach. He was a mentor. He played the NFL. And so that rec center, to advocate for that rec center speaks volumes. Because when I talk to kids in Marshall Heights and Deanwood and other surrounding communities, some of the students, even when I was working at Idea Public Charter School, some of the young ladies said that rec center doesn't even fit to be on this side because of the modernization, because of the renovation, because of the facilities, right? So my advocacy was all accounted for, and it was worth it. And so folks have interviewed me over the years about Woody Ward Rec Center, and like Coach Jay and Coach Crawford talked about, yes, we needed a studio. But I think the other two critical components when you talk about rec centers, Boys and Girls Club, is that some of these places can be open 24 hours, right? 24/7. Because at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, our kids, they're going to the Navy Yard. They have nowhere to go, right? Sometimes these kids have no parents, they have no guardians, and they're just looking for something to do. So if you have some of these rec centers that's open 24 hours, then at least give them an option, right? But also within these rec centers, let's get some of these young people certified, right? You have Ballou State, you have Theodore Roosevelt State, but when all of us were growing up, you had the Chamberlains, you had the Phelps, you had the M.M. Washington. So let's get our young people certified because everybody's not going to college. Let's look at your career pathways. Let's look at career technology and education, even at the middle school level, and provide these services for these kids and let the recreational centers have an open door so our kids have accessibility to that. That could be a game changer. A lot of times, I don't negate what Coach Crawford is talking about, what Deanwood is doing, but let's make sure that's equitable across the whole entire east of the river. Let's make sure all of that's taking place within Ward 7 and all that's taking place in Ward 8. Because the young men that's at Bennett Park, they're telling me they don't have those resources and opportunities to use the gymnasium and have those programs. So let's make it equitable and even out throughout all the entire, not just 7-8, but even throughout the entire nation's capital. That's going to be a game changer. That's just my belief.
I know what this. I got it. I got it, y'all. The solution. Ebbon Allen for mayor. I'm trying to tell you, dude. You need to record that. What you just said.
That's it, man. That's good.
You laid it out. That is awesome, man. You know, and that's the thing I learned about difference between politicians and policy, right? We need to get policy because that's what makes things happen. Now, all this shaking hands and all of that kind of stuff, making these promises and stuff, that's bull. But policy, and that's what it sounds like you're saying, Ebbon, is about going speaking, and we need to get more involved because, you know, they took all of that out of school, like government and stuff like that. So people don't even know what about the 3 branches are. But, I mean, we talk a lot, but no, Ebbon, God, that I wish I could have recorded that, dude. That's for real talk, man. But this is the other thing. Coach Jay, Coach Crawford, Ebbon, y'all are there. That's the other solution. I mean, we can talk all this other stuff what people need to do, but I feel better just knowing, and each one of y'all seem like you got your own look, like niche that you working on, and that's what it's going to take. Because the key that they try to do, they try to divide us, and that's been the key for centuries. Divide mother and talk about his mother, and then go over there and tell him he ain't no good, and put us together. But y'all doing it, and they always talk about we don't have any leaders, right? Like Martin Luther King, right? We don't have leaders like that anymore, but I think those days are over. We got leaders like you all, and y'all doing the work, and y'all together. But it's not like the old school where we coming together like the civil rights and locking arms and marching down the street. I think it's happening. A lot of people think we're jacked up. I mean, it's no question we got issues with black people, but I think we're doing way better. And y'all help me on this than what people are making out to be. Because I'm just talking to y'all, man. Y'all are part of the solution that we talked about.
Yeah.
And it's real, man. So I thank y'all for coming on, and I hope more people are watching this show because, you know, we always are talking sports, and I'm not against that. I'm a big sports guy. But today, you all, I got to tell y'all, this was a little different, and it was powerful, man. And I hope more people, and we do more.
Yeah,
like
super, man.
That's what we try to do here. You know, it's awesome, man. I'm just glad, man. I got hope. I might go out and watch them all. You know what I'm saying? Ungawa, Black Power. That's all.
Right. Tell them about the show on Thursday nights, Bobby.
Okay.
The financial show pitch.
I'm a certified financial education. After I finished playing ball, I went into finance. So we have a show every Thursday on Facebook Live and YouTube called The Fit Show. Financial information for today and tomorrow. FITT. It's from 8 o'clock to about 45 minutes to an hour. This is our 235th show. That's 4 straight years. My partner's a CPA, an MBA, and a Fortune 500. We both went to Penn State and played there. And we're providing information to our people. We ain't trying to sell nothing on the show. We're just what we selling is information. Actually, we're not selling information because we found out there's financial information and then there's financial education. Financial information is just exposure. People just talking, telling you about. But we teach financial education and hoping that we build critical thinking. We're hoping that we help people to make better, sound decisions and develop more healthy financial habits. So check it out every Thursday, The Fit Show, FITT, and it's really doing well. We're picking up a lot of people, man, because we trying to, we only know what we know, y'all. And we never had, when I played ball in Europe, I came out of a sociology degree and I didn't know nothing about finance. I wish I did because I blew a lot of money because I would play 8 months there and come back in the spring and summer in DC. And that's when the, go-go was hot. And
I remember
that. I was spinning. But anyway, now I know better. But anyway, that's the show. The Fit Show. Thanks, Mike, for the shameful plug. Thank you.
Well, you done brought back memories. I remember when they had the man purse. The little man purse.
When you
I used to come home from overseas. I used to come home from overseas, walk around with 20 grand in the joint. Just dumb stuff.
The man purse. No, you didn't say the man purse. Oh my God.
Man.
Mike, they bring them man person.
Yeah, they bring them
persons back,
no,
man.
Not. Please tell me.
Yes.
No.
Nah, Mike, them youngers.
I ain't gonna lie, it was practical, man.
Nah, them youngers wearing them man purse now.
I've never seen the mug in his back pocket sticking all the way out. With a big fat wallet with about 4 credit cards and like 100 ones and shit.
Yeah, you can't hold 20 grand in a wallet. That's for sure.
Stripper money there, 101. Stripper money there.
Right.
But things have changed, man. Thank God, man. Because I'm telling you, I remember.
Hey, man, I want to thank y'all for coming on, man, because it was a super show and everything. And don't be surprised if I call y'all back to come back on.
No problem.
Because I'm known to do that, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, man, let's try to change our city, man, for the better, man.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
that.
Hey,
I just want to say this. The Washington, D.C. endangered, but not extinct. The Washington, D.C. black man lives. That's my hope. Endangered, but not extinct, goddamn.
Not extinct.
All right, man. Y'all peace out, man.
Right, thanks, y'all.
Y'all have a good one, man. Thank y'all.
Good night, guys. Appreciate it. With you.
Episode of the Michael Graham Show. Big thanks to our guests, and bigger thanks to you for listening. If it hit home, share it. If it made you think, talk about it. Because change starts with conversation. Catch Michael next time. Same truth, same energy, same mission. Till then, stay loud, stay real, and stay connected.